I about got a nice shot of my Jays and some Cardinals eating on the little board that I flipped over for them, but as soon as they saw me looking, they, with the camera, they flew off. They're like that. A little jumpy sometimes. I gotta get used to you. Guys, I found a topic that I wanted to go into, and this one might be a little longer than the other ones. I wanted to talk about picture magic. What is picture magic? Or image magic? Well, it's something that we see every day. From the movies we watch, to the memes you see on your Facebook. Voodoo dolls. Gifts. All that's picture magic. How does picture magic work? Well, it depends on the intention. You got your voodoo dolls. I don't know much. I don't know much about voodoo. But I know a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of there's variations, but a lot of it boils down to some very similar foundational, kind of like intention to it. And the idea is you make an image, right? An imitation of your target, and then your dark practitioners will do things to the voodoo doll, put them in a freezer, bury it, put pins and needles and stuff in it, all kind of things, anything to mess with the voodoo doll. The idea is that when they mess with the image of you, it will affect the astral body. As above, so below, right? Now they're not going to be able to like fatally wound you with the poking the voodoo doll. But the idea is these are subtle attacks. They attack your psyche, your spirit. The idea is that if they can do it enough and you're sensitive enough and you're not in control of your multiple bodies, eventually they'll cause you to make bad decisions, react a certain way. This is how they play their game. That's one way they do it. Another similar way with similar intentions is using a picture of your target, just like a regular picture, Polaroid picture, and scratching up the image, putting the image in the freezer, stabbing it, burning it, burying it, doing all kind of nasty intentions to it. Similar mindset. Mess with the astral body, affect the physical body. As above, so below. But what about the memes? The memes are a different kind of way. It's similar. It's designed to affect the races, the masses, humanity as a whole. And the idea is kind of like that saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. And the beauty about the memes is you can take one image and put a caption on it. And then you can spread that image around, and depending on the image and the caption, you can evoke some kind of an emotional reaction. You spread that picture enough and get enough people, get enough emotional reactions evoked from that, you can distort a group of people's perception on the target. Slowly. And if you do it enough, eventually it has more result. They've been doing this for a long, long, long time. Your beautiful tapestries to your ugly frog memes. Dark cultist wicked people love picture magic. They have more sinister ways of doing it too. If they're in touch with you personally, and they might be trying to actually start to attack you in the physical, what they might start to try to do is replace the pictures of you in your home. You might notice slowly but surely your pictures are getting phased out of your own home and replaced. Subconsciously, subtly, putting the idea in the mind of you and others who go in your home that it's not yours anymore. I hope you don't find yourself in a situation like that. Or they'll do another thing, more of like a passive-aggressive move that they'll do. They might only share pictures or, show pictures of you that aren't, flattering. You don't look good. They'll pass it off like, oh, it's just a good picture, Everybody looks good but you. And it's like obvious, The funny thing about these narcissists, these dark occultists, nasty people that we gotta, deal with in society, they think they're slick. They think they do this and you don't catch on. And just because maybe you don't say anything to them or like confront them right then and there, they think, oh, well, you're naive, got one over on you, that's part of their stupidity, okay? But we notice another thing they'll do, Photoshop. They will Photoshop images of you. And this is kind of starting to play more. Now we're going to start, the realms, right? The circles are starting to maybe like intercept each other, They're starting to meet together with like this fraud and impersonation once you start getting into these photoshopping of the pictures, which they will do. They'll get photos of you through public sources, and then they'll twist them up, Photoshop them, put you in all kind of like lewd positions, or do all kind of things to make you look ugly, bad. And then again, spread them around town to the people they know, through their club. In order to distort the public's perception of you. So what do you do when you notice that? Well, don't let it affect you. And I know in the beginning it's really hard not to, because like I said, we have to realize that these people are they're not there. They're not where we are. They're not. We're up here, the way we think, and they're like down here. And it's not people like them will hear this message, especially when they hear that part, and they're going to like, oh, you think you're better than me. And it's like, well, no, you think I'm better than you. Which is why you get mad about it when I open my mouth. Yeah. And if the shoe fits, you're the one putting it on anyway. Well, you'll see these things. Don't let them affect you. Be yourself. Because what will happen when you're your authentic self around people, and you are authentically and genuinely good-hearted, people are going to notice that the trash that others talk about and these pictures and all the things that they do, their little silly games to, manipulate others around you to like looking, to thinking ill will of you and things like that, they're going to realize that it's not lining up. They're not congruent. They're gonna start going, well, I don't get those vibes when I meet that person. In fact, I get the opposite vibes when I meet that person. And then they're gonna start questioning the ones that are running their mouth. It's a slow process, guys. Light workers are the turtles. The right-hand path is the longer path. So, just something to keep in mind when we're navigating out here and you become more aware of how these groups operate. You know, little games they play. It's pitiful. It really is. I mean, could you imagine somebody, like, can you imagine how insignificant somebody is to feel like, to have to take somebody's image and maybe distort it or like put it on their own face, you know, and make it all ugly, you know? Like, I mean, you know, what kind of loser do you have to be? You know? Really, like, you got nothing better to do with your life than to do things like that. And I don't think that, like, you're really affecting, you know, the person that you're affecting. Because the thing is, guys, is the type of people that get targeted with this kind of stuff, we're waking up. We're elevating. We're getting better. These tricks they don't work like they used to. We're not kids anymore. It's not high school anymore, guys. And you'll notice the type of people that do these kind of games were the guys that peaked in high school. They're the guys that looked good when they were, you know, juniors and seniors. But now they're pushing 40 years old, and they look like crap. And they act like crap. They got nothing going for themselves. Because they thought that high school was the cream. And it's like, dude, people live to be like, some people live to be 100 years old. You're going to put all your chips when you're 15, 16, 17? Idiot. And you know what? I don't care. Yeah, that's a little, you know, maybe I'm ruffling little feathers too much. If you're the type of person and you're doing this kind of stuff, like, you're a sicko. What's wrong with you? You know? And I heard something the other night. Someone I listened to, they made a really good point. And I really think they ought to look into this. Jealousy. Jealousy should be considered a mental illness. I mean, we all feel brief feelings of jealousy. Everyone does. We're human. But guys, tell me if I'm wrong, but we all know people who get jealous all the time for everything to anyone. They are so quick to turn green. And the thing is, guys, you know, some people, well, that's not a mental illness. A lot of people do some really wicked things because they're jealous. People kill people over jealousy. Yeah. Pretty quick, too. I don't know if, you know, that's pretty close to psychosis if you ask me, you know. Oh, you got a nicer car than me, so, you know, someone's going to go like, oh, your life is nicer than mine, so I'm going to devote all my time and energy into trying to ruin yours because I'm jealous of you. Right? I mean, then there are people that they have this mindset. They really do. It's sad because a lot of the people that do have that, it's like you really have the potential that you could do a lot. You know, if you quit like being shady and trying to, you know, mess with everybody else's life and just focus on you and your own life, you could probably go back farther in life than the people you're jealous about. Yeah. That's like when you meet these, like, criminal, shady types that are always trying to scam people out of money and like manipulate people and use people. And they'll spend all this time to come up with these schemes to like get people to give them money. And it's like, if you spend a little bit of that time like working a craft or like a job, like a legit one, you'd probably be a lot more successful than you are now. If you use that energy for like something legit, it's wild. It's wild to me. And then the arrogancy of people like that too, because they'll really think they're controlling people. They'll really be like, I'm a master manipulator and I control people's minds. And it's like, no, you're just dealing with somebody who's trying to be nice, and you're preying on that because you're a predator and a piece of crap. Yeah, for real. Yeah, a very young, foolish soul. And if you keep living like that, you may come back a fly. So you can actually hang out with, the things that you should be around. Doo-doo. Oh.